Lawyers for the former president are calling the grand jury's indictment, quote, political persecution. Trump's former vice president, Mike Pence, agrees.
I think the unprecedented indictment of a former president of the United States for a campaign finance issue is an outrage. Every American deserves equal treatment under the law. And I believe the American people will see this for what it is.
Earlier, we spoke with Trump attorney and former federal prosecutor James Trusty about how the closely watched legal fight could play out. What is the Trump legal team's strategy?
Well, the starting point, in any case where there's an indictment that comes down, you have to look at it on a couple of different fronts. You're looking at what would happen for a trial strategy. You have to look at what types of motions are available. This one is ripe for motions. And again, I think there's going to be a specific intent, fatal flaw, most likely, in the way this indictment is drafted, where the intent to defraud, which means defraud people of money, is just not present at all in this story from everything we've heard. So I think there's a good chance you'll see motions, or at least one motion, to dismiss, and it's the type of thing that could knock this case out before any jury ever hears an opening statement.
And let me take that a step further. The motion to dismiss, would it relate to this intent to defraud?
I think that's certainly a component of it. I think that the intent to defraud, the case law in New York is very clear. It's very different than just saying I had an intent to deceive or I had an intent to mislabel or misbrand something. The false entry has to specifically relate to defrauding someone of money or property of value. And the case law is on our side. The stretch here is going to get cut short, I think, by a judge if they're fair-minded about it. And again, I'd expect, at least, and don't know what the indictment looks like yet, but I'd expect to see a motion in that direction that could be certainly dispositive of the whole case.
And what's the timeline for that? Do you see that happening within a matter of weeks?
I think it's fair to suggest days or weeks.
What's the timeline for surrender and the indictment? Is it Tuesday next week?
Well, I'm certainly seeing public reporting that's saying Tuesday at 2:15, for instance. I don't have any reason to dispute that at this point, but I'm not privy to the exact state of the negotiations.
You represent the former president in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. Does the New York indictment have an impact on special counsel Jack Smith?
I don't see it as a direct impact. I mean, there may be kind of psychological impacts. There may be communications behind the scenes between these somewhat like-minded prosecutors or prosecuting authorities that I don't know about. To some extent, I suppose maybe people think we've crossed this Rubicon where it's okay to criminalize political differences, and therefore it gives them some sort of encouragement. I hope that's not the case, and I think each matter has its own problems and its own merits when it comes to the prosecutor's perspective, but we'll have to wait and see.
Trump attorney Evan Corcoran recently testified to the grand jury in the special counsel investigation. Was Mr. Corcoran's testimony negative for the former president or helpful to his position?
Yeah, this is one of the difficult moments of having to be actually observant of the law. The confirmation even troubles me of Evan Corcoran testifying in grand jury. These are supposed to be secret proceedings, and what's happened every step of the way is either DOJ or FBI has decided there's different rules for Donald Trump. And so they leak information that's under seal.
Are you saying that either the special counsel or members of his team are engaged in a strategy of leaks?
Everything I see points to that.
Do you feel confident that the former president will prevail in the Mar-a-Lago documents case?
If there's justice in this country still, yes. If we have prosecutors that are actually judicious in their outlook, and that's how you're supposed to start as a prosecutor. You look at it and you say, where does the evidence lead me? You don't target the man and then try to pin a charge on him. So if they're fair about this, if they recognize the very political underpinnings of Mar-a-Lago, which was a hyper-political small group at the National Archives trying to weaponize and criminalize a document dispute that happens with every presidency and never ends in criminal tools being used, criminal investigative tools.
On January 6th, is the Trump legal team concerned about the potential testimony of the former vice president and former White House chief of staff, Mark Meadows?
No, I mean, look, I think everything I can tell, and this is just speaking for myself, not speaking for the president, is that these are honorable guys. They're going to come in to tell the truth. They have nothing to hide. And in doing so, that's not going to be something that hurts the president. Again, the fundamentals of what President Trump did on January 6th are very different than the, Liz Cheney's and Adam Schiff's of the world would like to portray them as.
Former President Trump really portrays himself as a tough guy. But does he want to go down as the first president to be criminally indicted?
Well, I'll say this. I mean, he is remarkably tough, remarkably resilient. He really does view this as an important moment for our country, that we're sliding into a different existence as the United States of America when it comes to the criminal justice system, and that he really does stand between politicized persecution and the kind of fair system that we've had for many, many centuries or for many, many decades. So I think he kind of is surprisingly selfless when it comes to being attacked personally this way, and it gives him some strength, and he keeps on charging. Although I'm telling you, a lot of folks by now would say, play golf, travel, and keep away from this Washington crowd because it's poison. He seems to like to swing back.